Hello, Clashers, and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Culture Clash. I am Luis Villalon, back with another Friday and back with more shenanigans. I hope that you're enjoying your summer. I hope you're somewhere on a beach. But if you are laying sideways on your bed with the AC blasting, just know that I'm also very, very jealous of you. But you should be jealous of me because I have someone who is so beautiful. I honestly feel like I'm like just chatting up with someone, like a long lost friend. But this is actually my second time meeting her and my very first time chatting up with her. So between you and I, we're gonna ask all of the questions that I know you've been dying to ask. She might be your favorite TikToker. She might be your favorite news anchor. But to me and to millions of people in Cincinnati, she is one of the most beloved and popular people in the city. Please help me welcome Megan Mitchell.
Oh my God, Louise. You know, there wasn't much of a time to actually chat that first time because it was during a parade.
Well, yes, the first time I met Megan Mitchell, like I said, well, I know you from TikTok.
For sure.
I know you from TikTok, and then like I knew that you were from Cincinnati, so when I moved back, I was like, wait, like where's Megan Mitchell?
You're searching everywhere. Where is she?
Like I knew she's here. Yeah. But then like our worlds collide, and the first time I met you was not long ago at Pride.
How funny was that? And the second that I realized that your producer Liam, were all in the parade, I was like, wait a second. Hey, everybody! And then we all did hugs and we all...
Yes. You said out of all of the gays, I spotted the most gay.
Bam.
Yes.
There he is.
Yes. And I've only, like I said, I've only seen you on like TV or my phone. So like,
so funny.
Honestly, like in between the parade and thousands of people, like I saw you and I like just went to give you a hug.
And I was just like, me?
Little me. Oh my God. How was your Pride?
Pride was amazing.
Right?
Yeah. You know, I think I needed this month of June to kind of feel that like rejuvenation. Not that I'm not totally gay all year long. In fact, I'm so gay that I'm at my house with my girlfriend all the time.
Love.
But I think that especially kind of getting into my 30s and being kind of partnered, I have definitely felt more just with her in our little group as opposed to like in the community. So then being at Pride this year for me was a total, I'm in community with everyone, including you, Luis.
Including you. And including everyone that was at the parade. It was truly the best parade that I've ever been to.
I know.
It was just surrounded by so much love.
Yes.
I always say that I can't cry because of my antidepressants.
Wait, what do you want?
Lexapro.
Woo!
Oh, Lexapro.
No, you don't even understand. Currently, I'm on 2.5 milligrams. I just got down from 5 milligrams, but I'm like tapering right now after being on it for 5 years.
Okay. Well, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone with social anxiety. I kind of feel bad for you.
You know what? No, you don't even understand. I've been like crying at random things because of the taper
because
down.
of that.
So just like beware.
So if
and
you
be
cry,
happy you don't cry at everything.
If you cry, I will hold your hand and roll my eyes. But just know that in the inside, I'm crying.
I know, I feel that.
Yes, but also very good point that you bring up because you just got an Emmy for that same reason about talking mental health awareness in teenagers.
That was it's so tough, like being awarded for something that's such like a tough topic and a tough story that I did. The story was about a kid in the Cincinnati area in Anderson Township, and he had been struggling with mental health so long that his mom actually talked to me after he passed away, after attempting or committing suicide, about her story, about his story, and to then be able to piece that together and have her show me some of the most intimate things about his life was one of those moments, especially as a journalist and someone in the LGBTQ community where those numbers are higher, mental health issues are higher for people in our community. You then start to realize like, okay, wow, the more she's sharing, the more vulnerable she is, the more this is going to impact more people and get that story out there. So the hope in winning an Emmy for something like that is that awareness just keeps spreading.
And that's like such a beautiful work that you do, and just even being able to share and openly talk about antidepressants
Right.
and the importance of mental health and not view it as something so out of the ordinary.
Totally.
Because even like with conversations with my parents, and I totally get where they're, different generation,
Yeah.
different everything, that they're trying to understand mental health.
Yeah.
And through those little things, I talk to my mom, and I'm like, the behavior of my grandparents, like,
Oh.
I'm imitating it, and the reason why it's happening is
In
because
what
of
way
this.
do you feel
So
like
when I tell my mom like, oh, like I'm sad and I'm depressed,
Sure.
she'll talk to me and be like, oh, this is how your grandpa felt, and I'm like, grandpa was depressed, and you guys just thought that he was a little crazy.
so fair?
And we just viewed it as this grumpy old man who didn't want to enjoy life.
Yeah.
But I now tell my mom, I'm like, your brain is the same way that your liver, the same way as your kidney.
Same thing.
And
Treat it.
Yeah, and when she's like, when it's a little like rainy out, I feel the same way. And I'm like, it's not your fault that you don't want to get out of bed.
Yeah.
It's called mental health.
Yeah.
And it's okay. It's okay for you to understand that it comes from cycles of family. It comes from your surroundings and everything that we do.
I had so many thoughts as I was doing yard work this morning with my girlfriends,
Yes.
in which I literally am thinking about whether family trauma and generational trauma truly gets broken. The thought I had today while I was pulling out honeysuckle
Yes.
was, if I have the same tendencies as my mom, my dad, their parents, but I don't act at them, did I really break that generational trauma, or am I just acting different through therapy? But I'm like, you know what? Actions in that moment are what is necessary so that you don't continue on that cycle. So doing things like taking Lexapro, doing things like seeking out therapy, I feel like those are ways that we can kind of break it so that perhaps it doesn't get as bad for generations to come if you want to have kids, which you don't have to.
Or just simply for the people around you.
Yeah.
And most importantly, for yourself. That's all. Because at the end of the day, when you turn the lights off, it is you.
Yes,
It is you that gets to enjoy or suffer through all of it.
I totally agree.
And one of the things is realizing that you have generational trauma to break
Sure.
is the first step.
Totally.
And don't use that as an excuse.
No.
What are we doing towards it? And there are times when you just really can't do anything because you just feel lethargic, and that's
Yes.
okay too.
Yes.
But there is a next day. I mean, we were just talking about gay pride, and I got to walk with my mom. My mom was like with us on the float.
I did not know
Yeah,
that, Louise.
cute little blonde lady who was like 5 feet tall, like just trying to keep up with all the gays. My brother is driving the truck, and
Family affair.
a family affair. And it really just felt like if you would have told my 6-year-old self that I would have had that moment, I would have never believed you.
When did you come out, and how was that reaction from your parents?
So I was 19
I'm
when
directing this interview now.
See? She's the professional one here. Yes. I was 19 when I came out.
Okay.
So-
Wait. Same.
Really?
19,
Oh my God,
but I'm
see?
up on my age.
Wow, no, we are a generation from like, we had to come out.
Yes.
Listen, I've been on dates with like
And
23-year-olds.
they're fluid, which is totally valid, but they're like, oh no, I just am. Like,
Yeah, and I'm like, how did you come out to your parents? I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, you don't have this like come out story. And I love that like other generations.
It is amazing.
It is amazing. And I'm like, I didn't have that.
correct.
But it's so good.
And speaking of generations and how it's different for different people, I think like especially living in Cincinnati, and I know you've had people from bigger cities on this show, I think depending on where you live, it's different, right? Because
Very.
even if you were to drive like 45 minutes in any direction from here, it could also be a different story for what that looks like and what that coming out process is, or maybe doesn't even need to be, based on the rural area that you live in. right?
Absolutely. I mean, you drive 45 minutes north and you'll find a big sign that says hell is real.
And that's true.
So,
And you're kind of like, wait, maybe I shouldn't come out
yeah.
then, right?
But to everyone at home, like struggling to come out, like life is so beautiful because you are beautiful. We cannot describe the feeling of coming out. Ugh.
Wow.
Do you remember so you came out summer of 2008?
So mine would have been, because I'm 32.
Okay, so like 2011, 12?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
It was 2011, and I remember this summer I kind of started, going to different bars and seeing what's up. And then by the fall, I was kind of like, okay, I've known this for a while. It's been kind of confirmed. And then finally, I literally came out as bisexual to my best friend.
We all have.
And then the day later, like one day later, I was like, okay, I just had to say that's like get your thoughts, like dip my toe in.
Yes.
I'm a lesbian.
Yeah, so by the way, I'm a lesbian.
No, it's like it's not both.
Have you ever dated a man?
So yes, in high school, my track record with men is fascinating in that most of them are gay now.
Oh, so you haven't really dealt with straight men?
I dated one straight guy my senior year of high school. His name is Pat. Hey, Pat.
Hey, Pat.
What's up? He's married. He's doing great. All of that said, we dated for like 3 months. And when I finally broke up with him before I was going to college, we were like sitting in Panera and he started crying. And I'm like, Pat, what's the matter? And he was like, you're about to break up with me. I'm like, how do you know this? He's like, because you've never asked me to go anywhere with you. Besides Panera to break up with him.
Oh.
Sad.
But those are the people that just made you who you are today.
And that's true. I mean,
Yeah.
he's, like I said, he's fine. But now that I'm like fully open, it's like, then I dated a bunch of different girls and I've landed on the right one.
Oh, but see, that is why you stay beautiful, because you don't have to deal with men. You know,
So fair.
Men are awful.
So fair.
Every time someone asks me like, "Oh, so you like men?" I'm like, "I'm attracted to men." Unfortunately, I'm attracted to men, but
So true.
men and shit.
So true.
Yeah. So okay, I have so much questions.
Let's
So many
go.
questions.
Let's
but
go.
the very first question I want to ask the girls.
Okay.
Let's drink to this.
Let's cheers.
Yeah, let's cheer. Who is your number one gay diva? Who is that pop star, that celebrity that just woke something in you?
No, it was Lady Gaga. And I saw you said,
Yes.
"In Gaga we trust."
In
So-
Gaga we trust.
I'll make this as quick as possible. My senior year. My junior year became obsessed with her. So this is like 2008, 2009, 2010, tickets to her concert. Her concert gets canceled. I had like tickets to the concert before that she had with Kanye too. That got canceled as an entire whole.
Thank God.
Thank God. And then 3 days before the Wallingford, Connecticut concert, it got canceled. I made a YouTube video, which at the time people didn't really do. It went viral for the time, which now I'm sure like that amount of views is nothing. And then NBC Connecticut came to my house and did a story on me for the 11 o'clock news, basically being like, Lady Gaga fan goes crazy in viral plea to get Lady Gaga to... All of that said, then the audience coordinator for Good Morning America reached out to me and I got to meet her.
Wow. Let me touch her hands. Did your hands touch her?
And like, of course, at that time, everyone's like, I don't understand why you're so obsessed with Lady Gaga, Megan. I'm like, because I'm secretly gay. Duh.
Duh. Wow. So you have met Mother Monster.
I have pause up.
Monsters,
Pause up.
little monsters everywhere.
Correct. And honestly, like that was kind of like the catalyst for this entire brain opening up, me getting into the community. Like I was so active on Lady Gaga Twitter at the time that like I really feel like that whole experience was what opened me up to being like, okay, like maybe the reason why I don't like guys is because I have different interests.
Well, and when I talk about like that gay diva or that awakening that you had, is that person that really
Correct.
made you question everything that the world had taught you that you needed to be in order to be successful.
Correct.
Or that, you know, you just needed to, not that we needed to imitate Gaga, but in a way we saw this woman that we live vicariously through.
Totally. And her motto was just be yourself to the fullest
Yes.
extent. She was living that way. It almost empowered you to want to live that way. And you saw just how powerful she was. You saw how unique she was. And I think especially at that time, right? We weren't really seeing that. I think a lot of like the 2000s, so like the 10 years prior in pop music, there were outliers in the sense that you have Bjork or whatever, but in the mainstream, you had someone who was like really defying what we considered to be mainstream pop. Like she was going all out, and we probably hadn't had someone to that scale since like Madonna.
Exactly.
Which I wasn't alive for Madonna. So.
Right. She knew how to play with fame. She knew how to be a star, and in a world where we were seeing
Wait,
like
was she your pop?
she for sure. I mean,
Okay.
I will remember Madonna she's my number one, but like you said, I wasn't old enough to appreciate the message.
Yes.
I was old enough to appreciate what she had done, but
Sure.
didn't live through it.
Totally.
So when I lived with it through the Gaga, I mean, I remember packing up my friend and roommate at the time, Jessica Cornette, shout out to her.
Hey.
Her FJ Cruise, we would pack it with like 11 homos. Only one person would stay sober, who was a DD, and we would drive to Mask in Dayton, Ohio. We would pass around vodka, the massive liter. We would all black out. We were all 19, 20.
What year was that for you?
2009.
Okay.
And we were listening to the Fame Monster. My very first song that I came out to was Katy Perry, I Kissed a Girl.
Oh, of course.
2008, that was blasting at the club, and I'm
Yeah.
like pumping to it. And those women, I was living vicariously through all of them. I remember that when I first came out, like, I needed to be so gay.
Yeah.
Because everything that
Yes.
I was wearing, makeup, I was wearing like the most feminine clothes that I could find.
Totally.
Not that there's anything wrong with it,
Yes.
but it's like you finding yourself of like something you have been hiding for so long.
Did you feel like you were doing it almost as an indicator to other gay men, like, hey, I'm here, you see me?
And a big fuck you to everyone who I was leaving behind.
Wow.
Because in a way, like, you know, in high school, I couldn't wear this because I was going to get clocked.
Totally.
So it was to me like I am surrounded by gay friends.
Yeah.
I am surrounded by straight girls who love the gays. I am surrounded by
You went
lesbians.
all in.
I got my people.
Yeah.
Who do you have? Because you all left high school.
Where are you?
And got bald. Ooh. But yeah, so it's a big, so I totally get it. So you come out at 19. Did you have a girlfriend before 19? Did you
No.
ever have like a secret girlfriend?
Never had a secret girlfriend. I think I am someone who, once I realized something about myself, I just said it immediately and told everyone. I'm like, tell everyone. We're not keeping this from certain people. Like, I didn't want people talking behind my back. I was like, this is it. Spread the word.
Good for you.
So I think that there were also moments in high school where, you know, I had one friend when I was a sophomore, or no, I was a junior, she was a sophomore, and she came out to me, and it was a weird friend where, like, for some reason, her name was also Megan. I kept telling my closest friend group, hey, you know, I actually didn't tell them I was hanging out with her or that I even knew her. But it was just like weird moments where I'm like, I think back on those moments, this like secret friend that I had, and finally she came out to me as a lesbian.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, like I was wanting to be friends with her, I was attracted to her. But I think at that time I was just like, there's no way I'm gay. You know what I mean?
But deep down, and this is what
There
it
was
all
a-
comes down to, you felt protected by her.
Laws of attraction, baby.
Because you felt that I know the secret about you that I
Yeah.
don't know, that you don't even know,
Correct.
that I don't even know, but we both share something crazy. And that's when like people talk about like, do you have the gaydar?
Yeah.
It's far more than like finding someone else attractive.
Oh my goodness.
It's understanding like if the world turns on us right now,
Yeah.
if we're like at the store and the world turns on us, I see a lesbian, I see a gay man.
And here we are, and we're holding hands.
And if it's the three of us against the entire store, like this is my people.
Yeah, I feel that.
That often we call it our chosen family. Yeah,
really-
I love the gay community. I love being gay.
Me
I
too.
really, really do.
It's the best. It's the
the
biggest
best.
blessing of my life that
Yes.
for the first half of my life, I thought was the biggest burden.
Yes,
curse.
I agree.
Yeah.
I 100% agree with you. And when you find out how beautiful that everything that you are is, the world can get enough of you.
I totally agree.
The world cannot get enough of you. Well, I have some questions for you.
Oh, well, let's go.
I'm telling you, the girls were
We're just blabbering
asking. The girls were... Actually, before I get into this,
Let's do it.
do you know... Okay, first of all, Megan has 1.8 million followers on TikTok. That's how I really, like, got to know you.
Yes, that's fair.
You, like, cut up your dresses. Like, you do all of this. But one of the really interesting things, I don't even know if you know this, but half of your comments are from these really thirsty Latina girls in Spanish. Talking about, que bonita, que guapa.
Wait, really?
Yes. There are so many comments in Spanish talking about, oh, she's my type. Oh, she's so bonita. I'm like, oh.
Here's the thing. Because, and this isn't even just like I don't read the comments because I don't want to see what people say. It's just like, I get so many notifications just randomly, like to this day on like all of the videos I've ever posted.
Yes.
So like I don't filter through. I don't even like look at my notifications anymore. So I don't like see the updates as to what people... I don't know about Spanish, but I do know that there was like a while where my videos started going viral like months after I would post them in Brazil. So that was random. But yeah, I mean... If you want me to be honest, I did date a Spanish girl. Her name was Natalia Ortega.
Natalia Ortega.
There you go. And so I think mom or dad was from Spain. I think her dad's side of the family was from Cuba. So, and then her mom's side maybe was from Spain.
So she was crazy.
She was
the most passionate.
Listen, she will never see this. Why? Because she blocked me. So.
Oh, no. Listen, I love Latinos. I love Spaniards. Cubans are a different breed, girl.
She was very strong-willed.
They love you. They're passionate. And Brazilians.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, Brazilians and Cubans are the best and the worst lovers. The best because they will make you feel like you're on top of the world.
Really?
But when the anger comes out, oh baby,
Oops.
they're just as passionate as making your life hell. And that's just Latinos.
I feel that.
You can get all this like good seasoned food and
you know
a little
what?
crazy.
Shout out to my ex. She, I think, is married and has a child with the girl that she left me for. So.
Okay, well, good. But you're now dating someone?
Yes.
Let's break people's hearts. I'm telling you, Megan, you know that you are. You're that girl.
And come on.
You really wake up that like je ne sais quoi on people.
That's hilarious. And
you know this. Come on.
Well, I think because for so many years, in the most crucial years for like forming who you are, I was like, just keep this. I was like the ugly one of the friend group. I'm not saying like I'm ugly, but of my really middle school and high school experience, I was not the one that like guys would like go to immediately. So I think that made me like really have this notion that like I'm not, like I think I always will think lesser of myself.
Because then now you realize that your beauty was far beyond than
now
just...
I realize, like,
well,
you guys are...
when, like I said, when you come out, when you show who you are.
I think that's the other thing is like once I accepted myself and once I fully was like embracing who I was and like the style I have and I felt like cool and comfortable and I wasn't like wearing anything to like impress a man.
Just you.
The confidence, it just, that's what it does.
So here is the key word for everyone at home. Stop trying to impress a man. And you'll be happy.
There you go. And there
you'll
you go.
be happy. So speaking of your fashion and your whole like persona, you have this very androgynous, I won't even say androgynous, you just have this very clean aesthetic.
That's the goal.
Like that you just like, you look at yourself and you're like, it's Megan.
Yes.
It's not feminine. It's not masculine. She's not doing this. She's not doing, like, she's just Megan.
I feel so seen right now. I think especially like you mentioned, trying to be super feminine at a certain point, trying to be super masculine probably before you even came out. There's this in-between that I've always felt like I was. And I remember when I first came out, my parents weren't super happy. A few months after not talking to me because I came out to them, they ended up driving up to Boston, and they said, Meg, let's get dinner. They had never visited me. I have younger siblings that they needed to take care of, and they sat me down at dinner, and they're like, we're not okay with this. Mom has cried every day for 6 months. She's seeing a therapist for the first time in her life every week. And you can't look like a lesbian. You can't tell anyone you're a lesbian. You can't do whatever, whatever. And I just remember being like, wow, I can't look like a lesbian. Years went by. Everyone started getting a little more chill. And I think my dad had said to me one time, maybe we were on vacation or something in my mid-20s, and he goes, you know, come to think of it, Meg, I do always remember you, even as a kid, just like wearing just t-shirts and not like long shorts, not short shorts, just being somewhere in the middle that just felt like clean, no frilly things, no baggy things. And I'm like, thanks, Dad. Parental validation.
It's huge.
Shouldn't be the validation you need, but still feels great. Am I right?
I mean, your 4-year-old self will always need that.
And so I think, especially going to the anchor desk, I feel like I try to just bring something that feels clean. Clean is like, literally, I like straight lines. I like things that just like sit very like clean.
Solid colors.
Boxy is fine. Just like, I don't like baggy or like frilly.
And, you know, the crazy thing is that I've always said that people don't even have a problem with homosexuality. People have a problem with femininity. And because I look at yourself and blonde hair, blue eyes, pretty, small, petite, like, it will be like, oh, you were born a woman who had the lottery ticket and you decided to throw it away because they see that as a waste simply because you're not doing it for the eye of a man.
So fair. So fair. I mean, and that, I think, just to point out something that I have experienced, which fortunately I am fine, but like at a bar, that type of situation, especially for feminine lesbians, can get really dangerous when there is a man that's hitting on you and you have to come out to that man after multiple attempts to try and get with you to say, sir, I'm not interested. I am interested in my girlfriend right here. And that spurs, I think, in some people who perhaps were drinking, perhaps feel like that's not, that this moment isn't for them. It can cause violence, it can be dangerous, and then you have to think the rest of the night, well, I'm going back to my apartment, my house, with my partner, with my girlfriend. 2 girls against 1 guy still feels scary, you
Absolutely.
know? So I think like just calling that out is like, that type of mindset can also be dangerous for women, even if we're not, you know, a straight girl in a bar, is something that's like so valid and really real.
Well, and the whole like passing, you know, as a gay community and lesbian community and LGBTQ plus community, anyone, we really try to sometimes go for that look of passing.
Yeah.
If you're a lesbian, you want to be a lipstick lesbian because you're on top of the pyramid. If you are a gay man, you want to be a muscular, masculine man because that's on top of the pyramid, right? But a lot of the time, people that are on top of that don't talk about the danger that comes with it.
Sure.
Because not only are you there, but you now have to prove a point.
Yeah.
And for a lipstick lesbian, a very feminine lesbian, straight men's ego gets hurt. And it's like, oh, you're not a lesbian. You just need me to like find out what a real man is.
Sure.
And they take it up on themselves. And like you said, it creates violent environments for people of anyone, our trans sisters out there, trans brothers out there.
Great point.
You know, like you go on a date and how do you come out to a guy like, oh, by the way, like, I know that you don't know this, but I am a trans woman.
Yeah.
So, you know, always keep an eye out for.
It is true. And you know, on the flip side of it, which I also want to point out, especially compared to like a trans woman who might not come across as passing, even though they are performing hyper femininity, I have had so much privilege. I even think about my TikTok following. I think about the amount of followers I have in regards to the content that I make. Like, listen, I know I'm on the news, so like that type of background is gonna be flashy, right? People are gonna stop and be like, oh, a news anchor. But I think when I talk then about being gay, they're like, oh, well, she doesn't fit in with what I thought a gay woman looks like. In fact, she's white, she's blonde, she's palatable, and that makes me more marketable and therefore more successful on that platform than some of my black lesbian sisters, than some trans women that are on that platform that are creating content that could be just as good, valid, sometimes even better than the content that I'm making. But they don't have the amount of views or followers because they don't hold the certain privileges that I have.
But one of the steps to understanding that is to understand your privilege.
Yeah.
And how do you use that privilege?
For sure.
And we were talking about some other news anchor who have mentioned to the podcast how comfortable they feel now seeing you on a suit. And that these women who have been on the show for years see this younger woman who is very free about herself, and they feel like, well, shit, I'm gonna wear a suit as well. I'm gonna look just as feminine, I'm gonna look just as beautiful and as powerful.
I love that.
So you really are changing the mindset of people. You engage with 50, 60, 70-year-old people that are watching the news in the middle of Ohio. So you understand this huge impact that you have and how you can use that power.
It's always the goal, right? I mean, not the main goal, but kind of an offshoot is to be like, wow, if I'm just being myself, then that can empower some people to just wear whatever they want to wear. I think especially in news, for some reason, there is this weird gender binary that isn't really talked about, but like when you turn on a newscast, you're kind of expecting there to be like a maternal and paternal figure sitting right there.
Right.
Like that's just like what we expect. And so when you allow those figures into your living room, like you're like, it's 5 a.m, you're drinking coffee. Like you're in a very vulnerable state, right? And you are expecting something that you feel is the norm. And so just subverting that even a little bit with like a buttoned up suit that is the same as the man that you're sitting next to, sometimes that throws people a little bit. But the more you do it, the more they're like, oh, well, I guess I like her and she's in my living room every morning and she's fine. Like she's not bothering me.
The more normal it becomes.
Then it's like, okay, we're all here. And more people are like, wait, she did that. So like, I might as well do it because people's eyes are becoming more comfortable to things that are like a little bit different than what we've experienced the last 30 years. And like, you know what's also weird? I've seen videos from like the 80s and 90s of like women wearing like a suit. But that kind of just like started to fade going into the 2000s. And I feel like there was really a reversal to like those tight dresses and more of that like voluptuous hair. And so that kind of idea of what a newscaster, specifically a female newscaster, looked like started to get like much more feminized. And so like, let's bring that back.
Yeah.
Let's bring back what makes us feel good.
Absolutely. I always talk about like the fashion history of what happens, and you just brought up an amazing point, which is like the 80s, where you saw Prince being very flamboyant and hair and makeup on men very flamboyant looks, right? But then you think of like the late 80s and 90s where the AIDS pandemic really hit the LGBTQ plus.
Yeah.
And then the world started really disassociating from the gay community. And suddenly being very flamboyant was not a good thing. A woman on the news looking like a drag queen suddenly was no longer Studio 54, but you kind of thought of the AIDS
Matchbox
pandemic.
20.
Yeah.
Now, that's your rock star.
So that we went into very like chill colors and showing women again. You see it now through like the whole 2016, BBLs and curvy fashion.
Yeah.
And now we're following more into like the traditional dressing and pastel colors. It just all goes to show like where we are.
I love listening to you about fashion.
I love it's I think far more than just fashion, like good or bad fashion. There's no bad fashion.
No, I totally hear you.
Everyone has the way that they express themselves, and everything is beautiful to me.
Totally.
But it is very unique as to how we express ourselves within the LGBTQ plus community, within just any community.
The culture itself.
Because
I think everything we're doing, people can, of course, say, and I'm sure there are some people who are like this, that every single thing that they wear is totally themselves. But I think you are not disconnecting yourself from the culture that you are responding to with every single thing you put on your body.
It just surrounds us.
Yeah.
Everything from what we eat to what we put on, like
Yes.
everything is really just
Totally.
everything that we do. So definitely, like if I start hanging out with you,
Yeah.
maybe I'll start dressing a little bit more sporty.
Maybe we should hang out.
Yes. I know you love going hiking.
Wait, really?
Yes.
Oh, well, let's go.
I'll make lunch while you go hiking.
You know what? Good deal.
How about, I think we can have a beautiful friendship.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yes. Okay, so like speaking of fashion, so
Yeah.
you really, at least here in the tri-state area, you really have revolutionized the way people are dressing.
That's
I'm not
hilarious.
joking.
Okay.
I really am not joking. You bring, we'll put some clips of Megan, but you have, like I said, this very clean aesthetic, suits, shirts, blouses, tops that are just very different from what the news anchor used to wear
Sure.
back then. How does that conversation go with your boss?
Yeah, I think I started doing it, so I'm not as radical and cool as just some people think. It wasn't like I just got to Cincinnati. I got here 9 years ago and just started wearing whatever I wanted. I did create some semblance of an audience first so that people like felt like they knew me and I knew I wasn't going to like lose followers or do anything radically that would lose me my job. So I want to get that out there that I'm not like
You just one day showed up,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I think that the pandemic hit and I had, had a few like suits from like Ann Taylor, J. Crew, some like nice places, and I would wear them every once in a while, but then I was like, okay, wait, if I feel more confident and like, especially this word, more cool, I really felt cooler in them. Like I just felt cool up on the news desk being like, hey. And I'm like, well, why wouldn't I want to bring that to every single newscast? Why wouldn't I want to feel that confidence? And then it hit me. I'm like, oh, it's not that I'm averse to wearing a dress. Like I really am not. If I'm a bridesmaid, like I'll wear whatever dress they want, whatever. It was that moment that took me to realize, but if I wear what makes me feel the most comfortable, then I'm going to perform better.
I'm going to be the best version of myself.
I'm going to be the best version of myself, and they're going to get a better product.
Exactly.
So the more that I started wearing these suits and like buying different ones, and I told you this earlier, I have my sizes and a little note on my phone from J. Crew and Taylor. This is like my big tip. I just go to that exact same sizing on Poshmark and get it for like 80% off secondhand. So people that have to go to work 5 days a week, I mean, there's a way that you can kind of do it without spending all of your money on like these $100 suits. All of that said, I started gaining a wardrobe of things that really made me feel cool. And I think through that, it was like people in the city just saw that I was more myself. And so like they liked me more.
Isn't it crazy that
And
people will start rewarding you and liking you for simply being you?
That's exactly it. And I think that there still is an issue in some workplaces. I think in certain newsrooms this could happen, but I think it's progressing more where because people are still being held back, they're not getting the product that they want out of these people. Like the more that you allow your employees to be themselves, like you're just going to get a better product.
And that goes for any relationship.
Yeah.
If you allow your partner to be themselves, if you allow your friends to be themselves, if you allow you to be you,
I love this.
You're always going to be a much better person.
Totally agree.
I always tell people, I'm like, one of the reasons why I came out is because I felt like I was being disrespectful to God. God made all of this shit, all of this flamboyantness, all of this femininity unto me. And for me to not be showing what he made, it's disrespectful.
I've loved that.
So you have to be you, and it's crazy how the world, what you thought was going to like just crash down and be like, I'm never gonna have friends.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna have like a support group.
Oh.
It comes bigger, brighter, and then you become yourself, and it feels so much more real because you know this love is for really who you are and not who you're trying to show the world that you are.
Totally agree.
So
Okay, I don't want to like divert the conversation, but I think that's one of the reasons why like even the LGBTQ community from day one of me coming out has really been the water that lifts me up, right? Because hopefully it's not just trauma bonding, but like we've all gone through this experience of like fighting for ourselves against our families. Like that's the thing is I think so many other marginalized identities have very different oppressions. Some are worse, some are better, but in the end, I think about the LGBTQ struggle and how interconnected it is with like our families and like this reveal that like they didn't know was coming about ourselves, that like only people in the LGBTQ community who've struggled with that like have understood me in a way that like has allowed me to grow as a person
and can relate to you,
yeah,
to the struggle. And regardless of what the struggle is with
Yeah.
those, like us lesbians, gay, trans, and people of color, and any minority that is out
Yeah.
there, you just understand that regardless of what you're going through, what you have been through, that was what you were going through.
I know.
And I cannot sit here and be like, well, mine was worse or mine was better. It was just simply something that we went through.
Correct.
And I hope that we can be each other's shoulder to cry
Yeah.
on, but most importantly, someone you can lean on to move forward in life.
Totally agree.
And understand that
The
life gets
oppression
better.
Olympics aren't good for anyone.
No. You cannot. No, you cannot sit here and
Yeah.
It
We're
is-
holding each other up at this
No.
point.
How are you and your family now? Are they cool?
They're so good. It took them, love you mom, maybe about 7-8 years, which
Cool.
was good and bad. I think it was like I actually just remember seeing a video. I was looking up 10 years ago when Obergefell versus Hodges was brought to the Supreme Court and marriage equality was
Right.
deemed the law of the land. And I made this video for myself, and I was actually driving to Minneapolis to see Natalia Ortega.
Yes.
And I was making this video, and I was like, oh my God, my mom just called me, which was so weird. And like, oh my God, that's so awkward. And like, that was probably 4 years after it was 4 years after I had come out, 2011 to 2015. And like me to see that video 10 years ago and remember, oh yeah, even 4 years in, my mom was like still really weird about it, was like, wow, like I really did go through it. It was very validating. Like, yeah, that was a really tough struggle that I had with my mom for a long time. I would say, and this is what's weird about like my relationship with my parents, is they actually accepted it more once they saw the people of Cincinnati and then they saw my TikTok followers accept it, because they realized like people would still love me and they would still embrace me. They weren't religiously against it, really. I mean, they're Catholic, but they were really like, Megan, this is going to make your life worse. This is going to
Yeah.
be a struggle for you. And so to then see it being the opposite, they were like, oh, wait.
Oh.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, I think a lot of my parents are also very Catholic, and I think
Yeah.
a lot of Catholic parents, because of the idea that like you're gonna go to hell and this was such a bad thing,
Sure.
they just feel so protective of you.
Yeah.
And they just feel like, wait, this is my child, and I love them unconditionally, and I don't care, but like the world is gonna be awful to them, and they want to protect you so much. So
Yeah.
once they see it. Once they see the love, they're like, oh, wait, they're in good hands.
Yeah.
I've raised wonderful children. I've clearly done something right.
Totally.
And when they see, like, same for my mom, like, I think seeing the love, Cincinnati, and walking the parade is like, I can relax.
Yeah.
They clearly have a good
So are you from
group.
here?
So I was born in Mexico.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I
Where
moved
in Mexico?
a city called Morelia, Michoacan.
Okay.
Yeah, a little west of Mexico City.
Fun.
A smallish city around like Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But my parents are very Catholic, very
Yeah.
Latinos. They married when they were 22, had their first child at 24.
Yep.
Like they believed in what's you if you don't have a wife or if you don't have a husband and have kids. Like,
Yeah.
so every time I ever struggle with my sexuality, at least in my late teens. And after coming out and not having that connection right away, it clicked to me that it took me 19 years of my life. It took another country, another generation, and for me to even learn a new language, for me to accept myself. How could I expect these two immigrants who were struggling and working day by day to bring, you know, food home and making sure that we pay rent? Like, how could I expect them to even process that?
Totally.
So we both just came to an understanding that you live your life, I live my life.
Yeah.
Our lives were pretty intertwined. Then they realized, like, I have nothing but respect for my child because he's a great person.
Yeah.
They've met a few of my partners. They are fine. And now it's just like not even a thing.
That's amazing.
Then-
Are they here
They
now?
live here.
Fun.
The only reason my dad didn't come to the parade is because he was like, oh, it's too hot.
I hear you.
So
It was too hot.
it was very hot. But it was just truly like, it's a good. And anyone
Yeah.
that is at home watching the show who is struggling with their sexuality, like, just know that the world loves you for who you are.
Yeah.
And for anyone on the other side who might have a sister or a brother or a friend who you might think they're lying to you, girl, they're not lying to you. They're lying to themselves.
Yeah.
And trying to fit in this persona so that they don't lose your love. So just hang on tight. I promise you that person will come around
Yeah.
when they feel secure, when they feel good.
Yeah.
And I know that you'll be there.
Totally.
So yeah, but I do have more questions. So you said you get your suits from, like, you've had Poshmark is the best place?
Yeah, I feel like secondhand has worked out the best for me because it's allowed me to kind of get the wardrobe going,
Okay.
right? And the exact styles of jackets I like and the pants. And listen, just go to J. Crew or go to wherever and find your fit, and then just find it cheaper secondhand. It always works.
And I have a tip. It's better to get a secondhand or a thrift store and bring it to a tailor. Spend your money where it's
Did
right.
anyone see his outfit? The pants? They're amazing.
Thank you. We need a little shoe cam, but
We
later
do.
on. But yeah, just spend $10, $20 on a suit jacket and
Yeah.
take it to a tailor.
Totally.
You are supporting local businesses, tailoring, which is like dying,
Yeah.
but they will do an amazing job with a very nice jacket from the 60s, 70s. Wow. Stop buying at ASOS. Stop buying fast fashion.
I agree with that.
Thrift stores are booming with great clothes that
Totally.
you can make them your own.
I feel the same.
Do you have like a favorite story you've ever covered? I know you've covered a lot.
You know, favorite story. So when I was in North Dakota, which was between college for me and Boston, and I spent the summers in New York City, I then moved to North Dakota in Bismarck, which is like 6.5 hours away from the nearest city, which is Minneapolis. It was a tough time. But very quickly, I started covering the Native American tribes there, and I became the tribal reporter. And so I would go to, different council meetings and all of this stuff and cover the students learning the Lakota language. And I mean, there were so many great stories that I did, but once marriage equality was passed, we kind of realized that there was like an asterisk among tribes because their laws weren't necessarily the laws of America.
Oh, interesting.
They have their own nation, and that is a way for them to maintain their own sovereignty, against colonization and people coming and trying to reclaim their land.
Which is awesome.
Totally. All that said, only like 6 out of the like hundreds of tribes had something in the books that said yes, like 2 men of the same sex, 2 women of the same sex can get married. And none of them were in North Dakota. So I started like talking to people, and I followed this couple, and Lexi and Chelsea, they were amazing. And they were just dead set on getting married on tribal land. It was a beautiful story that we decided to make it into a documentary. And unfortunately, one of the stories in that documentary that we then stumbled upon was really the struggles of Two-Spirit Native Americans and how their suicide rates is kind of going back to mental health are higher than really anywhere in the world. I mean, these people, I think the stat is 1 out of every 2 Two-Spirit transgender people on these reservations has attempted suicide.
Wow.
Which is crazy. I mean, the resources just aren't there. And hundreds of years ago, the American government stripped everything from these people. So they're rebuilding, right, with what they have in these tiny parcels of land. There was a Two-Spirit Native American, Ayanna Adrian, who had committed suicide. And we covered their funeral, and we covered, their mom for about a year. And just to like see that story pan out and do this whole documentary on it, which you can look it up on YouTube, Two-Spirit. You can type in Megan Mitchell. I'm sure it'll pop up. It was like one of those moments where I'm like, okay, I came out 5 years ago at that point, and I was still struggling with my parents. But then to see that there are, disenfranchised communities that are working so hard to gain rights for their people, I mean, that is just, you can't replace that type of fight in someone. They were just incredible, and they were so dead set on making sure that people knew that like Two-Spirit Native Americans were embraced in tribes millennia ago, and they were medicine men. Women were fighters. And so these Two-Spirit Native Americans not only were just accepted, but they had like a specific role that everyone was just like, oh yeah, that's the Two-Spirit. You know what I mean? It was like, we can't imagine that because we grew up in a world where you're like, oh, you don't want to be that, you don't want to be that. But for them, it was like, that's their role.
That's amazing. And I bet it feels so rewarding to stumble upon these stories that are so unfortunate, but to have the opportunity to raise their voices, because you often hear about marginalized communities, but then you don't think about the marginalization within the community that is being suffered because of the laws that as society we're putting upon them. I contacted Frida Kahlo, and one of the tribes that Frida Kahlo was very much inspired was in the south of Oaxaca, Mexico, by these, before there was even a term, they, them, it was these people within their communities called mushas, that they were very androgynous, and they didn't believe that they were men nor women, but rather than criminalizing them for centuries, they have been the pillar of the community. And they have believed that they were unicorns sent by their gods. So for so many centuries, these women, these humans have been treated like just, oh, well, they have the strength of a man, the motherly of a woman, like this is God sent. And you stumble upon these stories, like you said, and it's like, oh my God, like we have to do something for these people.
Yeah, because it totally shifts your mindset, especially as like a privileged white person coming from Connecticut, like the Northeast, being like, well, I grew up in a state that, was accepting, even though like obviously my specific situation wasn't. And then recognizing that like as progressive as I think the state is, or the city I'm living in, Boston or New York, you realize like these people had it right hundreds and hundreds of years ago. We're now catching up.
Yes. But where you're, and I tell these at home, everyone, because sometimes as in the gay community, we feel so like we're not doing enough. Like I need to be out there in the fight.
Okay.
But because I know that if my parents were to be presented 20 years ago on a ballot about gay marriage equality, my parents were like, sure, I don't care. Right? But then when it comes to your family, it's like, whoa, hold on.
That's so fair.
So maybe, and not maybe, at least not in my case, and I'm sure that a lot of people watching at home, you were that token that the universe sent your family to be like, wait, I would have voted for gay marriage, but now it's my time to put my money where my mouth is. Because it's now my daughter, it's now my son. And if I didn't think about going to the LGBTQ pride 20 years ago, now I have to go.
Yeah.
Now I have to go. So We are
Me takes a
unicorns.
sip of margarita.
We're unicorns
I
in this
totally
world.
hear you. Yeah. And I think my mom has like said that as well, just saying it does feel different and like you have to step up more when it is your kid because it's a different expectation.
Sure.
Especially my mom was such an idealist. So she had this like vision. The quote I always say was when they had come to Boston to like sit me down and say, we're not okay with this. My mom said, she was like crying. She goes, I can't watch Say Yes to the Dress anymore.
Okay, well,
And I'm like, Mom.
listen, what's your mom's name?
Marianne.
Marianne? Wait, Marianne?
Yes.
Marianne, you can come and watch Say Yes to the Dress here with me. I have
Ah!
In fact, we can go get thrifted dresses. So Megan, there are so many questions that I got from friends that they really wanted to like get to know, but there's one question. And in this show, I really do not talk about politics. So this question
Yes.
is not about politics, but it's just me being nosy.
Oh, let's be nosy.
Because I know that you got to meet a former First Lady, Jill Biden.
Yes.
Okay, no politics.
No politics.
I want to hear, like, do you get screened for anything? Like, do you, like, is your, so, like, I want to hear, like, how do you, like, just get close to a First Lady?
It was actually like a wild experience. So just for context, I was out on a story. I was like on the west side, and I was doing a story on how like people's apartments were not heating up. So this is like mid-December, and I get a call from a random number, and I'm like, hello? And it was like, hey, this is blah, blah, blah from the White House. Calling my cell phone? Like, it was the craziest experience, like, ever. And prior to that, like, maybe 5 minutes prior, I'd gotten, like, a DM that was like, hey, this is blah, blah, blah from the White House. Like, what's your number? And I was like, oh, haha, there's no way. But, like, I said my number.
So they call you.
They just call, they call me, and they're like, can you be here in, like, 3 days? And I'm like, what is going on?
Yes.
Now, as a journalist, we try to be as unbiased as
Right,
we all
course.
come from a place that, you know, of course we have like certain, like I am a lesbian. Like I think the best thing that you can do is acknowledge that type of thing so that the viewers can like understand where you're coming from. Like if I cover a gay story, like I want the person, even on both sides, to understand that like, okay, this is where I'm coming from, but like I want to hear your thing so that I can be honest when I tell it to the viewers, right? So I then go to the White House, and the story itself was a wrap-up of essentially the year under the First Lady. So she talks about the Christmas decorations and how that pertains to the specific agendas that she's looking to push around education. She's a former teacher, so for her, that was like the big number one thing that she wanted to make sure people were aware about was like making sure that people were included in classrooms, making sure that education was funded. And so so let's get to the fun details. Not that that's not fun, but you know, it's politics.
No. So they give you like a rundown of like, what is the point of this meeting?
Oh, yes. And this was also like the end of COVID. So like you had to test like 5 days prior. You had to test like the day of at 8 a.m. And like, it was like such a crazy experience. But then when you finally get in, I forgot my ID. Not like my driver's license, but like we have press passes.
Oh.
And it was in Cincinnati. I'm like, uh-oh.
So.
And they like would not let me in. But finally they had to have like the First Lady's team like come out and like fight for me.
Like,
against
yeah,
like
she's on the name. Like,
the
all
Secret
that.
Service, right? So finally we're let in, and you're given the lay of the land. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go into this room, and you get to like see exactly what's going to happen. But I've noticed that they also have like little things in the back of their minds, like that they bring people. So like, for example, after my interview with the First Lady was done, which they bring, there was like me and 3 other journalists, like one was in DC, one was in Philly, something like that. And they bring you in one by one. You get to ask her your questions and then get a picture, and then you can go out. And then they kind of like swoop me up and they're like, hey, you know, Megan, like because of your social media presence, we can allow you to meet the press secretary who's also a lesbian. And I was like, okay. So then they like brought me to the West Wing, and I was like, I am in the West Wing right now. This is like wild,
crap.
you know? And I think the entire experience was like, okay, things are really secure here, which is crazy. And it's just like weird to be a part of that type of atmosphere where it's like everything is like, but then also because it's so structured, when they like throw in a little thing at the end, it's like crazy that you're like, oh, we can just go to the West Wing and you don't, we're good. And so it was like an awesome experience getting to like, you know, meet the First Lady and like talk to her about her agenda at the time.
Well, and just simply being in the like just in the building where history has been made.
Yeah.
I know that
The room where it happened.
exactly. You can say so much, and like I said, your political views.
Sure.
We try. I really just want this show. We can all get on social media and see everything that's happening. That's your job. My job is to try to make you forget about it for whenever you're listening to me.
That's fair.
But I mean, being in the White House, like, I want to go in there. I want to see, like, the color. I want to see, like, everything. Like, I want to steal a napkin. I want to go through all of the security that entire, like, just having to go into a building like that.
It's so cool because even in every single room, there's like history. Like there's, you know, oil paintings that have been there for over 100 years of all of
Right.
our different presidents, and I'm like, this is crazy that all these people were in here at one point.
Yes.
Like the world leaders were in here.
Exactly. Like, the craziest decisions were made in this area. Did you know Jackie Kennedy, like, was she ever there? Did JFK ever brought Marilyn Monroe? Those are questions that
Oh
will
wow!
be,
And
you know?
and that's like your agenda when you go to the White
I'm
House.
like, oh, I know Marilyn was just running around while Jackie was in the Hamptons. Those are the questions, because, you know, I'm not a politician. I leave those to the people like you.
This is the culture class.
This is the culture clash. We want to know, you know, I stay clocking those shoes that Melania wears,
Of course,
regardless of her political views.
Totally.
I stay watching what she wears.
You have to.
It's
That's
a
your
show.
job.
That's my job.
Yes.
And I let the professionals of politics handle that.
Of course.
Not to say that we don't vote and that we do not participate in our democracy,
We do.
but there is a time and there is a place.
I agree.
So yeah. Let me see. Like I said, I got so many questions. Like, especially with my lesbian girlfriends. When I told them,
Fun.
I'm not kidding. I think Megan Mitchell is the last one to find out how hot she is, and that Cincinnati has a crush on her. So flood her social media and tell her, because
Yeah, flood it and tell me.
Speaking of social media, you took a little hiatus from social
I
media.
took a hiatus. So I'm back on now. So probably for like 3 weeks, I have been back scrolling. So for 5 months, I didn't scroll. I didn't post. I did post on opening day because it's Cincinnati.
Oh,
You can't.
Yeah.
But I really felt like it had become such a burden for me. And I think, especially since I do have a full-time job, I'm someone who enjoys benefits. So I haven't ever wanted to like go off on my own and like just do social media. I think it felt like a lot, like juggling this like side gig while having a full-time job as a journalist. So
A lot.
that type of pressure had been kind of building, and I'm like, you know what? I can free myself.
I don't have to do this.
Yes, and then I read this essay by Gia Tolentino. It's called The Eye and Internet. And one of the things that she talked about was just the anxiety that you feel. She was talking about the anxiety you feel while scrolling. And I think that there was this maybe call to action where she said, just feel how you feel, like scrolling all the time, and like, does it actually make you happy? And so I tried that for like a week, and I'm like, wait, it doesn't. It doesn't. And so I was like, I'm gonna go full force. And so I, deleted my apps and I did this thing. And I am not someone who's like on and off social media. Like, I deleted my Facebook and then got it back when I was in like, I have never been off social media. So the last like 5 months to be able to do that has felt like so cleansing.
Yeah.
But then now that I'm back on, I'm like feeling that anxiety again. I'm like, oh, there it is.
It's a drug.
Yeah,
it's a drug.
is.
But I mean, everyone, regardless of how many followers you have,
Sure.
everyone gets this anxiety of like you're craving and chasing this like high, right?
Yes.
But I can imagine you as someone who is in the eye. Do you get hate mail?
I wouldn't say, especially since I've stopped posting, I really haven't gotten much. But when I was posting on TikTok, there was a certain point, like the first few years of the pandemic, I felt like there was this almost like sexual orientation revolution that we were experiencing where, like, for example, my girlfriend Alana was a part of it, where She realized she was gay on TikTok because her algorithm was like lesbian, lesbian, lesbian. And she's like, wait a second. Am I a lesbian?
Am I the drama?
Literally. That was her.
Yes.
And so for her, it was like this revolution to be able to kind of have an algorithm be like, well, girl, you're watching this, so we're going to keep giving it to you. Yeah. So I felt like there was this moment in time where it really felt like there was this momentum of like people wanting LGBTQ content, and there wasn't much feedback that was negative. Maybe like 2 to 3 years into the pandemic, there were some laws going across the country that I started getting more hate mail in my comments. It was interesting to see like how politics affect like the comments on like my video, which I thought was not political. It wasn't political. I was just sharing my life, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see like how these things are interconnected. And from there, it started getting a little bit more negative. So I was like, okay, this isn't as fun for me anymore. And I'm also kind of out of ideas. So
You said I'm taking a break.
I said I'm taking a break.
Everyone needs a little break from social media.
Yeah.
Because we're chasing this high that you just never get.
So in that essay I told you, The Eye and Internet, Gia Tolentino lays out a study that came out that showed that the same release in our brains that we get from scrolling on social media is the same that like a mouse gets when it's like fed like
Substances,
drugs.
Yeah.
And so the mouse keeps going back for something, and our algorithms are purposely kind of made to like give you some serotonin sometimes, but also kind of be filled with like junk, so that you want to keep scrolling, so that motion will keep you looking for the high.
And nothing that you see on social media is real. Nothing.
That's so fair.
Like nothing. Like even me, I'm gonna take my Spanx off as soon as we're done.
Of course.
Like nothing, you know, like people are like, oh my God, you're doing the show. It looks amazing. And I'm like, yes, but like this is the best part of the show.
Yeah.
But you know, you don't see Liam like in the middle of the night, like editing, and you don't see like everything that goes behind it. Like nothing on social media is real.
Yeah.
But if you work hard, anyone can be something on social media. And on that, actually, I do want to ask you something.
Yeah.
Because I am honored that you're sitting here with me as someone who has been in school and someone who has a career in the business, who is a true journalist, that are dying and it's becoming a politicized career. A lot of people that are even put in this in between, and it's not good, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the future of journalism?
Wow. You know, I feel good, especially about local journalism, because, you know, as much as there can be curated feeds that will show you, especially TikTok or Instagram, some of the most viral things that are happening in the world, at the end of the day, the things that affect you the most are what's happening like literally in your neighborhood. And so I think that local journalism specifically, which isn't really curation of the best of like what the world has to offer that day in terms of interesting stories, you do need to know about what's going on in your neighborhood. You do need to know about what's going on in your city. And so I feel optimistic that at the end of the day, like that type of content is always going to be needed. And although there are certain aspects of trust that have been lost, both because of social media, but also because of some of the mistakes that, you know, mainstream media has made, I am a believer that like we need to keep digging, we need to keep doing the hard work, because the more that we show you, you know, here's what I did. Like, I picked up the phone and I called your congressman every single day to get an answer for you, you know? I feel like that type of journalism is still needed. I think that we're doing that real work, whether it's my station or any of the other stations.
And at the end of the day, it's all about trust. Because anyone
totally
can grab a camera and a microphone. I mean, look at me. Put on a pretty outfit and then, you know, have a show. Like, let's be real. Anyone can.
Sure.
And that's the beauty that we live in today.
Yeah.
That we no longer have to go through these big machines to
Totally.
show our talent, but the key word here is longevity, professionalism, and like Tanya Rohr, who we've had here.
Yeah.
Many could come. The woman has been on air for almost 30 years.
Correct.
And that will speak on anyone. I don't care if you have 5 million followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like, what does your work say about you? Your professionalism and what you are bringing to the community says about you is far more important than any numbers.
Yeah. I double down on that. I totally agree.
Retweet on that.
Retweet.
Retweet. Well, Megan, it has been such an honor. I do want to ask you one last question. Are
Let's
there
go.
any lesbian words that the community might not be very familiar with? Like, we know lipstick lesbian. I heard a little term earlier that I wasn't like.
Wait, what was it?
Chapstick lesbian?
Sure. Chapstick lesbian's a good one. I think that's where, like, going back to our earlier conversation about just not necessarily being too feminine, not necessarily being too masculine, that kind of like fits that aesthetic. I would say in terms of terms, things just go so quickly in the lesbian world. You know, have you ever heard the term, do you listen to Girl in Red?
No.
So that was like a term that was the first video of mine that ever went viral. And I showed kind of the undercut I had. I showed the fact that I, was wearing a suit. And I said, when you want to anchor the news, but you listen to Girl in Red is a lesbian artist. And that at the time on TikTok was like,
Oh.
instead of saying like, are you a
wait.
lesbian? You would say, do you listen to Girl in Red?
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you listen to Girl in Red?
Correct.
Okay, I love that. See, we just learned that today. We just absolutely learned that today.
And of course, all the lesbians were like, this news anchor listens to Girl in Red.
Yeah, she said, we see each
We
other.
see you.
And one of the last things that I do want to bring up about history in lesbians.
Yeah. Love.
Did you, Clashers, and did you know that the LGBTQ before the AIDS pandemic used to be GLBT? So
Really?
it was gay, lesbian, transgender.
Okay.
It was GLBT, so lesbian, gay. No, I'm sorry.
Gay, lesbian.
Correct.
Yeah,
And after
yeah.
the AIDS pandemic, the community decided that because of the work and the love that lesbians gave to all of the gay men who died of AIDS, we all decided as a community that it was important that we put lesbians first. So it's now LGBTQ. We have added like 12,000 letters to it, but everyone is welcome.
Everyone's welcome.
Everyone is welcome. But yeah, the L was added before the gays because
Makes
of
my heart
the
happy.
works that you guys have done. And
you know what? No, it's my final note.
Tell me.
I think so often, there's these different rhetorics in the LGBTQ community
course.
saying like, oh, gay men are so different than lesbians. But like, I think, I have my specific lesbian friends. My very closest friend in the world is a gay man. My group of friends in Cincinnati are gay men. And so I think just to like showcase to people that at the end of the day, like maybe I want to go sit in my house the rest of the night as opposed to go out to tea. We are still like there for each other. We're family.
But I think that's the beauty of gays and lesbians because at the end of the day, we are the annoying brother and sister that we have
That's
nothing
true.
in common, yet we love each other so much.
I feel the same.
And that, like you said, the gays want to go to tea, the lesbians want to have a bonfire, but when I love a 4th of July with lesbians, Memorial Day with lesbians, any day. Matter of fact, I don't even like gay men. The only reason why I like gay men is because they're gay.
Of course.
Yeah. Well, Megan, it has been such an honor to have you on the show. We have been
Louise.
aching for this episode.
I know.
And here we are. Please give us your social media so that we can follow you everywhere.
Yes, it's Megan.Mitchell with quite a few L's at the end, and it'll pop up.
3 L's. There you go. Go follow her. You can also find her every single morning on Channel 5 on your morning news every day. I don't know how you wake up that early, but
It's a lot.
it's a lot. But thank you again. I hope you guys are having a wonderful weekend, a wonderful summer. Be sure to be safe. Don't drink and drive. Have fun. And make sure that you follow the culture_clash on Instagram as well as TikTok, our personal Instagram that we'll put all over here. But you guys have a beautiful weekend. We'll see you. Bye.